Hey, this is Schuylar from He Is Legend, and you're watching Good Company with Scott Bowling.
Hey guys, my name is Scott Bowling, and you're watching Good Company. Today we have the man, Schuylar Croom.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Thanks for having me. It's a wonderful place.
Dude, yes. Thank you, brother. It's a museum now. That's what I've been told. So
It is. There are a lot of artifacts.
do you have artifacts on your walls at your...
I collect
What do you collect?
random things. I like old matches. Got a lot of plants. Got the classic rock memorabilia that I've kept over the years, or like random trinkets from things. I went through a weird phase where I would keep scraps of paper that I didn't need. I think it's called hoarding.
Oh yeah.
And then
They got
like
a
I don't
show
need
on
the
that.
flyer for the show that I played at this place.
I do that
I
too.
keep that random shit. I
do
don't
that
need
too.
it, but sorry.
No.
I don't know if I can curse on your podcast.
You can curse on the
Okay,
podcast.
I want to
We'll
be
have
respectful
Nathan.
of your house.
Nathan will beep it
He'll
out.
bleep.
So every time you say it, it'll
Cool.
just beep.
Let me think of another noise. I'll approve the noise.
It'll be my fake burp noise.
Oh yeah, that's even better. If you do
just
every time you open your mouth randomly, you got like a little fake burp sound effect in there.
That's cool though. Like the stuff I collect is auctions and like eBay and stuff. It sounds like what you collect maybe on the road or something. Like it sounds more genuine.
Yeah, I can kind of like geotag a memory to little tangible things, and I've always like the romantic part of me loves the idea of like old matches and why they exist. You know, matchboxes, matchbooks. But
That's cool.
you
How
think
did
about
you get
somebody.
stuck on that, man? That's.
I think it kind of comes from I have a mild obsession with fire, and like every boy does. Dude,
you and Nathan are like meant to be, because he sets people on fire. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing to have on your resume.
What's the oldest matches you have? Like,
Oh
you
man,
have, like,
I
dating
wouldn't
back?
know. Like kids will bring them to me because I'll. The aesthetic of matches to me, like, okay, you think about this old like steakhouse in the middle of Missouri, and there's 3 matches gone. But that person went to that steakhouse, they got those matches from the bar or whatever. They maybe had a drink, wrote a number down, on the back of it, handed it to somebody else. 3 little fires were started around a drink or a cup of coffee or conversation.
There's a story behind it.
Something.
Yeah.
And the fact that they remained around, it's garbage, literally you're throwing them away until they're like empty, and then who has a phone number on a matchbook saved somewhere,
Yeah.
So especially in these days. But it is also one of those things that people somehow denote some value to that is meaningless to most everyone. And I find I like aesthetic things, like a tiny coffee cup, the packaging on things. It's just like a little obsession. Like a little OCD thing. Like I like design, and so in matches, especially the older they get, like you'll have like a tarot card, or like your Virgo with like beautiful like Art Deco designs and stuff.
Yeah.
But I love the story behind it. I think that it's fascinating, and then the fact that just in posting that on Instagram on tour that I like dig this, and somebody brought me a cigar box full of old matches, and so
wow.
And then another kid will buy like a Ziploc bag of matches at a flea market, because it is this thing that is useless to most people, and I don't know. I guess it is something people collect, like bottle caps,
Yeah.
But it's one of the random things. I have giant jars, just full of old matches, old stories.
I love stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah, in this whole like pandemic thing, my little obsession with matches, I started doing like doodles on them and sending them to fans or whatever, like doing these little like doodle like some of the character ideas.
How do you
from
send them to
songs and
fans?
Stuff.
Like-
well, I started a website for it because I had somebody like wanting.
Cool.
I was doing lyric sheets for just like on my own my own website. But then
I've gotten some from different bands.
Yeah, for like a small and I do like these crude characters and caricatures of like ghosts and skulls and just like horror themed things, and that just as like a cheap offering for like $5.
Yeah.
Just drawing on matches like a VHS tape, the front and back, and just doodling
That's
things
cool.
on little boxes.
It's funny like how creative you have to get now, like with
Yeah. I mean, I think that just with having so much free time, you had to find something, or you lose it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people lost it. A lot of people lost it with their having to be alone. Not to get heavy on you quick, but I'm just saying, some people don't know how to be alone with themselves and their thoughts, and like.
Do you like being alone? Can you?
I like being alone, or like being alone with the right people. You know what I mean? Like I like people who can. I don't know. It's like that classic Pulp Fiction thing where she's like, sometimes you just need to be with somebody who can shut up and sit. And I respect that more than like, I mean, yeah, like I run my mouth like anybody else, and I'm a chatty Cathy, but yeah, I do really like those pregnant silences. That
is that like
when you feel that moment of like, I don't have to say anything else. Like we're just content.
Can you do that on the road
right now?
Yeah, we should just do the whole interview on silent. Yeah, content. But can you
There's
do that?
a meta idea for a podcast. Silence with Schuylar Croom. Today's guest, Scott Bowling. Here we go. It's not gonna work. We're not gonna sell anything.
Well, I was saying, like, if you're on the road on the bus with 4 or 5 guys, can you do like?
Oh, we do it all the time.
Really?
But with yeah. Adam will drive for 6 hours straight in complete silence. I mean, it's a meditative thing being on the road. That was something I was noticing driving yesterday, just having not been on the road in over a year. Yeah, just losing yourself in that. You kind of have to have a part of that inside yourself, especially to be a lower level road dog where you're driving yourself. You're driving through the night. You maybe you're on tour with bigger bands, so you're on a bus scheduled tour, which is usually way longer drives because they're paying a driver, and you're trying to keep up with this Teamster like guy who can drive all night. And
so Adam's your guy that drives all night? Is he nominated?
We all switch off, really. I mean, we all drive. Adam actually is the morning guy. Me and Jesse do night drives.
Okay.
I can drive all night till the sun comes up. The second I see a peak of sunlight, I'm dead. Like I will careen into the mountain.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but the second the light comes up, I can drive all night. And I like podcasts. I grew up on the Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell, that era. It kind of bred us all into being podcast fans. If you listened to that when you were on the road, but that was the game. You would press scan on the radio, on the AM station, and it would scan for, depending on where you were, you're not catching a signal for miles. And you would, it might catch on the bumper music and the dun, 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 but it would be staticky, but you'd have to leave it there until you got close enough. And you could that's the 4 a.m. way to stay awake, is chase Art Bell's voice on static radio.
It's going to be weird going back to that. Like,
kids will never know that part. Who's listening to I don't even know if they
AM.
still play Coast to Coast on AM stations, but...
All right, so you're this album, and I love the vinyl, man.
Thank you.
He is legend. That's your band name, anyway. But I love this dude, and this is amazing.
Yeah, the
2019 this came out, right?
Yeah, 2019. That's the first album that I've been like very vocal about the artwork and worked with the artist to
really.
Yeah, so like inside with the layout and everything, I took pictures of all of us on a Polaroid and hand wrote these kind of chaotic lyrics just to fit with the theme of the record and everything. But yeah, Matt Ryan Tobin, who did the layout and everything, he's a brilliant artist, and I've been a fan for a long time. He was in a band, I want to say his band was called Resistor, but I'm not certain. But yeah, he's a Canadian artist that I've always loved, and
you hooked up with him though?
yeah, I hit him up. I just hit him up, the way one should, and just said, I like your work, and I've got this idea for a concept, and and he sent me some napkin sketches, like literally just like on the fly, like, oh man, I love it, and this is the idea, and I was like, I said, the old Bible in the hotel room, the white Bible with the gold letters, I was
in
like,
the drawer. It's
I was like the contemplative Bible. So like that was kind of just the first ideas, and he nailed it like first shot. He's like, oh, we got to do raised gold lettering. I mean, it was just like, I love when somebody can.
That's the first thing I noticed when I opened it. I was like, oh, it's raised.
Yeah. See, I'm glad you liked that. Yeah. I mean, he nailed it immediately, and his ideas were so spot on and better than anything I could have thought up. And
doing many albums, like the album covers, I think keep getting better and better with your band, and this is like the best. But now, from going on from here, you're gonna be like real particular. Like it's like you gotta top this one now.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, I will give credit to Matt for giving me the idea to start to like incorporate my drawing into things, because that was kind of how I journaled on the road my entire career. Like starting off, I would go and sit in a coffee shop, smoke cigarettes, write and draw, doodle, paste those shitty little pieces of paper in the books I'd carry a glue stick around, and get the local.
Like crafted.
Yeah, I mean, just to have like a creative process, and I don't do it as nearly as much as I used to on the road. But yeah, there was a time where I just kind of scrapbooking, scrapbooking kind of. But I mean, it's very autobiographical, because like when I open it up and I see a Dutch, handbill that I snatched off a coffee shop table that I can't read, and a little like line from a song or a drawing of something, and I can pinpoint where I was immediately. Journaling is really important for most career or most life paths, I think, just to keep keep process of, or keep a note of your progress.
I think that's awesome. I just get lazy with that. Like I remember trying to do that, but I guess keep doing it every day. Do you do it every day, or is it?
Oh no, not nearly as much as I should. I think that's with any betterment of yourself. I mean, I think one would like to say they do it every day, but I mean, do I meditate every day? No. Should I? Yes.
Meditating's good too. Yeah.
Meditating is really good for you. I mean, I follow all those hippie paths.
It works. I love. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I love the first song you guys put out, White Bat. My mind is going blank right now, but you guys put that song out before the album came out, right? You kind of give a little sneak peek.
Yeah, we did we kind of were trying to do things a little different and like drop the song out of nowhere. It kind of like follow the hip hop model and like make it a little like overnight, like, oh, they got a new song out. I like secret. Following that. It was, and we really wanted to do the whole album like that and just drop it like that.
Bands have done that. Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah,
right?
You never know. I don't know if it works as well with rock music as it does with like Drake. Like Drake could just be like, here's some music, and it blows up overnight. It's number one. But
right.
I like that model. I think that's a good model. I think it's a cool model for your fans. I certainly enjoy like. When Run the Jewels would drop a Christmas, drop the Christmas albums, I was always like, this is really fun.
Well, the song's amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
And absolutely love it. And it almost, to me, I was listening to it, it feels like two songs in one. It's like the whole song is building up for this one moment. And right when you're like, they call me White Bat, I absolutely love that.
Thank you.
Did you have that idea when you're writing the song, like, we're going to save the best for last? I mean, it's so amazing.
I think that's the He Is Legend format, kind of. It's like our, I don't know, Adam and I have always had this like, I'll try to push the idea that he had, like with my voice sonically, we always bounce off of each other, and I always want to scrap my first idea and try to make it a little more odd to what he's doing, a little off. Because I've never enjoyed when the singer sings right to the guitar line, you know, or whatever, like sings, I don't know.
You gotta think outside the box.
I always try to just say, like, the first idea that comes to my head for something that he's written that's like so obvious, it's like I want that idea to be not the first idea anymore. You know, like, so I always try to scrap that and see like what would I do differently if this was already tracked and this was the way it was. Like, do I like that?
Wow.
But that's just part of.
Is it hard writing lyrics to something like this? Like, does it take a long time?
Well, I mean, I had a different inspiration, like a different creative process for my writing process in this.
Oh, really?
However, our format is usually, it's always kind of been the same, just like we, you know, Adam and Jesse will be in the room crafting a skeleton of the song and getting everything, you know, Adam has these ideas in his head that we won't know until it's said and done, you know, because he's kind of got this orchestra crafted. And
but you're there with him when he's doing all this? Because sometimes people just go away.
Yeah, a lot of times we're not, because it's so, you know, you overwhelm the room when there's a lot of ideas flying around, and it's obviously like the same way where when we're recording and tracking vocals, they change so much from what's happening in the rehearsal space, because sonically, you know, we're working with a bass player, a guitar player, a drummer, and a vocalist when we're writing, and when we're like beefing up these songs to get them to where they are. And so it's a layering process of seeing what it sounds like. But when you get to the studio and you hear the nuances that Adam has stored away that you may have never heard at a rehearsal, or they never made it on the demos, and it could be a tiny, like, you know, just something in the background that nobody will ever notice, but it will change the structure of what I had thought in my head. So it's really, I like to hold off and hold back until the studio's like processes.
Yeah, so you don't have to keep figuring everything out.
And for me, if it's like, if I get too married to an idea, it's hard to back away from it once I'm in the vocal booth. Like, because also for a vocalist to have to capture this moment of intimacy in the recording process that's supposed to feel like you're in a sea of people, but you're alone with an engineer, you know, it's very intimate. So it's like,
yes,
you know, it's weird. I've always.
Do you have like weird rules, like don't look at me or turn off the lights? Like some people can't sing with people in the room.
No, I'm really comfortable with my producer. I mean, I would if there were a lot of people in there. It would get overwhelming because I mean, it is a personal thing. It's your own voice. It's not like I can tune that to be the note that it needs to be. It's like it's a craft to get there, and
you want to be comfortable.
But yeah, it's more about it, just like ego embarrassment if I like, you know, sound like a fool or not. But I mean, that's something you can get over. But you know, when there are other people around, it might not stifle you, but I do think you, in the back of your mind, you recognize that they're there. So it's probably better for art to be done, you know, not necessarily on a solo, because I mean, what is a band if not being creative with your best friends? But I think everybody's individual part, you kind of have to be away for a moment to like channel what, you know, I've always thought that, because people ask me like, where's this inspiration come from? And maybe there's a pinpointed place, but when you actually get to the process where the creativity, the juices, quote unquote, are flowing, it's like not you doing it. It is like you are a conduit to some sort of creative vibe or like something of that nature, you know.
That's cool.
In my hippie brain, at least, you know. I mean, that's where the magic's happening.
I think the older I get, like I like the hippie brain. Like it makes more sense for some reason the older I get.
I feel I don't know. I like the I grew up by knowing a lot of negative people, you know. I mean, there's a lot of negativity in the music world, and especially in metal and rock, and whereas we may have like some negative subject matter sometimes, I feel like we, like as a band, we know that the power in being positive is like, you know, super strong, and it's important to push yourself to be a better, more positive person at all times. You know, I think that's if that's the hippie brain, then I'm fucking patchouli salad over here.
Okay, I want to talk about. We don't have to go through every song. Burn All the Rock Records. Oh my gosh, and dude, that song is absolutely killer.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I mean, you just, it's like one song after another. But anyway, what's that song about? I mean, like quickly, I don't know.
It's kind of like the hard. Emperor has no clothes kind of vibe, you know. I mean, I wanted to lyrically, like, when the song opens up, it's just such a smasher. Like, it just sounds like throwing a beer bottle at a brick wall to me, and I don't know, it was like an anthem vibe, you know, I kept hearing the Distillers, you know, like in my head with like how pissed she was, and her voice was like, I was just like, that's what I'm hearing. So I mean,
I love that you have like when it's like, what's that noise? Like it's almost like a neighbor complaining about the loud music, and I love that how you incorporate it into that song. I mean, it's so cool. Yeah. It's just such a killer idea.
I think it was just the lightheartedness of this record gave us all like a liberty to revisit these like death metal growls and like really angry shit that we might not have revisited if we weren't being pushed in, and also like feeling really good making a record. Like we were like stoked to make it, happy to be there, you know.
And plus you have this long history, so you get more comfortable over time where you can be yourself and it's not... I don't know. That's how. Well,
also having Jesse. This is the first album Jesse Shelley played drums on, and he's my favorite drummer. Yeah. I mean, he's such a badass. He's got so much energy.
How do you find a drummer like that, man?
They find you pretty much.
Really?
Yeah. It was
serendipitous. Do you have
to
like audition people, or did he just come by?
No, we courted him. we courted him. He was in our friend. He played drums for a band, Sleepwave, Spencer from Under Oath's side project, and so we took them on the road, and we'd known Jesse, and when the time came that we were looking for a new drummer, he was our first obvious choice, and we asked him, and here we are.
Under Oath, were they? I know you guys were signed to Solid State for a minute, but they were signed.
Yeah, we were on the same label
mates. I guess at the same time.
We've been good friends with them for a very long time. They're the nicest dudes.
I was talking to Nathan about Solid State and Tooth and Nail. Did you guys ever want Tooth and Nail over Solid State, or either? Or did Solid State just kind of fall?
I think maybe back at that time when we first signed to Tooth and Nail, I think
you signed to Tooth and Nail. I didn't know that.
Well, I think it's all under the same umbrella.
Oh, okay.
So it was essentially, all of our contracts said Tooth and Nail Records, and Solid State was just the heavy music version of that.
Wow.
And we kind of fell into that through the band Dead Poetic. We shared the same manager, and the band Beloved. Mm-hmm. They were from, or they are from Winston-Salem, and they're right down the road from us, and so we would play shows with them all the time. And Norma Jean as well. They were like Ludacris awesome. Back in the day, and so we would play.
Ludacris, not Ludacris.
Luticris.
Yeah.
Crease. So we were playing shows with them when we were like 16, 17 in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, okay. I was about to say,
cool. We would do, for some reason, Myrtle Beach was like had a little hotbed scene outside of the House of Blues, which was the only, it was the only venue there around.
What year was that? Back when you guys
probably 2000 era, early aughts.
Okay, so this takes me back. This is your first EP, right?
Yeah,
902
91025.
Every time I see
everybody wants to say
this show, 90210. Yeah,
kind of intentional. It was a kind of a.
I love the opening, like.
I don't even know.
Big Daddy. This is a prop here, but Big Daddy, a hip hop anonymous.
Hip hop anonymous. Yeah,
I was like Big Daddy.
Nobody gets that reference ever.
Till today.
You might have be like one of the first ones.
Dude, although I haven't. This the intro. Like
I haven't thought. Yeah, nobody gets
the
that.
The first song is called Hip Hop Anonymous. Adam Sandler, Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's
nobody
where it came
got
from.
That.
Because again, Matt Williams would do that impression.
Scott, but I feel like I gotta sell something after I say that. Yeah. Anyway, this guy's got some pickles.
He's got a burp on command.
So when you say nobody, got that, people were legitimately like hip.
I remember I do not think anyone ever came up to me and said Big Daddy, right? But I remember it like it was yesterday. We were sitting around in the practice space trying to think of song titles for the EP because we'd never named the songs, and we were like, oh, we're gonna put this out. We gotta have song title names because I think at that point in time, I would always just say a random, really long sentence for what the name of the song was. It was never ridiculous. The obvious.
Seven does that too. They called their song Waffle, and then it stuck.
Yeah, yeah. Working titles usually end up there. There's always one that stays.
That was Hip Hop Anonymous is definitely a working title. Right?
Had to be, I think.
Yeah, that's like
I'm pretty sure. But then we were sitting around. I think like the last song is called "You Sound Like a White Boy." We were literally, I was on my cell phone dialing random numbers in our area code, and the first thing they said that person said was
like a white boy.
Yeah, because I was just like probably trying to augment my voice, and she was just like, "You sound like a white boy." I was like, "Oh, there it is. There's the album title." It's funny because that song's not on Spotify, probably for that reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, somebody just made a judgment call. I don't know. Who knows? But that's the world.
So anyway, this was the EP until you got your next one.
Yeah, we had that written basically as a demo to
get here,
to get there.
Interesting album cover. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Ryan Clark from Demon Hunter, I believe.
Demon Hunter, man, you're not sounding. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was our debut. Yeah, and I didn't have any hand in that design, but I love it. I think it was great.
It's cool.
It had like the sticker. We were like,
this is a blurry version, but it shouldn't be blurry.
Yeah, the gold was actually a sticker on the jewel case of the CD, and the CD is a compact disc, which was the circle with a whole.
Yeah, dude, that's cool.
They it was a little inlay, and then that was all just behind the gold sticker. So it was cool. I thought it was a different. Yeah, I always loved, like, again, I like the packaging of things, the aesthetic of things.
So back in the day when you're trying to like develop your style, I mean, this, to me, the earlier stuff sounds a little different from where you're at now. What were your influences? I feel like there's some, we're talking about Deftones. Yeah. I feel like I get a little Deftones vibe.
100% Deftones.
I see, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like, hands down.
And your vocal, like, you can do the growl, screaming, you can do clean. It's
what can I say, man? I'm a jack of all trades. I just.
It's good.
Well, He Is Legend it became this heavy. Well, I mean, I guess it started as this amalgamation of the heaviest heavies and the like, sultriest, sensual parts of the songs, and because like me and Adam both really enjoyed like dark, heavy music, and he got me more into like more extreme metal, and I would get him into more like like dancey things. And
that's what you grew up on? Was that your like
I grew up on a little bit of everything. My mama was into disco and like hip hop and stuff, and
really?
Yeah, Motown, soul.
Oh, Motown's my favorite. I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I grew up on all that, like Parliament and, yeah, Donna Summer and all that stuff. And my stepdad was a rocker through and through, and I remember his Georgia Satellites radio,
cool.
like, yeah, so he was a rocker, and so I grew up in bars, like while he was playing in a band, and I would be falling asleep on like some bar stage,
Really?
like, yeah, because he was, he'd play on the weekends, and my mom would go watch, and I'd go and dance and
how old were
play
you
with
like,
him
when you were playing like?
My mother and father separated when I was like 3, and my stepfather came into the picture not too terribly long after that. So, yeah, I mean, I was just immersed in music from an early age, and then
when did you realize you could like actually sing and?
I was in bands in high school and stuff, just like randomly. But I played drums with my parents. So my parents found Jesus, and then they had a Southern gospel band that I played drums in.
Okay. And that stuff's hard, man. Playing drums Southern gospel. I mean,
yeah, you got to kind of lay back, and I was never really good at that. Like I was always like rocking a little too hard in little Southern churches. But every Saturday and Sunday I was.
Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, we would do like homecoming things, or like they call them homecomings, like fellowship, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so potato salad and like potlucks, and we would, usually they'll have like entertainment, and we would play.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I have to tell you the new Highlander video. What do you got to lose? Starts off with Mikey doing the old Southern.
Oh yeah,
yeah. No, you've got to see that.
That's cool.
Video.
I have to see that. I haven't seen them in a while. So
yeah, you've got to see that.
Yeah,
that reminded me of what you just said.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that. we had them on a tour we did. They were such good dudes.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but I mean, they've been on the show, but good Lord, man, that must be awesome touring with them.
Yeah, that was a good tour. I think it was them and Wilson. I want to say it was
Wilson. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that was a big party tour. That was cool. We had a good time.
So this is your next one, right? Suck Out the Poison.
Mm-hmm.
You guys did this record, and if I was researching a little bit, did you guys like break up after this or take a hiatus after this album?
The
hiatus video from this, by the way, was that your first video? Was from this album, right?
No, we did a video for.
I'm sorry.
For the Seduction on I Am Hollywood. We didn't break. Well, I mean, we had a moment after that was like, I think every band goes through a moment where they're like, what are we doing? And at this point in our lives, music was going through a weird like metamorphosis, and we were like, it's kind of like the awkward stage in the chrysalis where the thing's not a butterfly and not a caterpillar. It's in this gooey, weird moment. And I think every band has a moment, like, especially, I mean, we've been a band for 20 years. So that's like, crazy, it doesn't, when you're thinking back and you're asking like, what's the inspiration here or there? It's hard to say because you're not working on your sound as a young kid. You just know that like your sound envelops you, and you are like, I don't know. You live in the moment when you're riding that wave of like first getting notoriety, and you might not cross every T and dot every I, or
you
think
start
about,
getting older and start thinking more.
People always ask like, why did your voice change, or why did this happen, or why did that happen? I'm like, I played 700 shows from this album to that album and drank like 600 bottles of Jack Daniels and smoked 900 cigarettes. I don't know what you like. I don't know. I think it's always like a growth thing.
Decade goes by. Your voice is gonna change.
We're hard rockers, man. I mean,
how do you keep your voice in check, man, when you're on the road? Do you do a lot of vocal warm? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really do any warm ups.
You don't? You don't do any warm ups?
Might show. I don't know.
I've heard people warming up too much and they blow out their voice.
I just think I'm of the mindset that 90% of the job is showing up. Like once you get on stage, if you hesitate or think that you can't do it, then you won't do it. If you know that you can do it, confidence is key.
Mental. Yeah. Have you ever been just sick? And I've heard people that are sick and the adrenaline rush kicks in, and
I don't think you're ever too sick to play a show. I mean, I could be wrong. I was just deathly ill a couple weeks ago. I probably would not have been able to play a show in that moment, but I've never really had a moment where I've felt too bad that the excitement to be on stage. I mean, you don't want to go on sometimes, but you make yourself go on, and the second you step foot on stage, that that takes over. And I've definitely played some really rotten shows because I've felt terrible. We all have. But I don't think there's ever like, I feel like we've always pushed through it. There's been some close calls, and we've definitely had to cancel for some things like that, the illnesses. But I've never been at a show and just been like, I have diarrhea, I'm not going, like, no, that's not
your pre-show ritual is to not eat Taco Bell, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Remember, we had that.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. No, you have to eat Taco Bell.
Do you? Yeah, you do.
Road dogging, you got to.
Man, this vinyl, was this your first vinyl? Like, this is the first one I could find on vinyl.
I think that's our first vinyl. I've been fighting tooth and nail, no pun intended, to get these two re-released on vinyl.
That would be cool.
I Am Hollywood and Suck Out the Poison. It'll happen soon. Yeah,
Will it?
Yeah, we're in the works for trying to get some stuff done like that.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm a big cassette guy now. Like, you should do that.
As they are, I hear that's making a comeback. I don't know. Are they putting them back in cars? Like, when are they gonna?
Yeah, exactly.
Got my Bluetooth and my cassette for my tape deck.
Putting them back in cars. Oh, that's good. The opening track on this song, you got everyone else fooled. Man, that is such a catchy...
Dicephalus.
Dicephalus.
It's a hard... It means two-headed dog.
I'm glad you
said... It means
said...
having two heads.
I looked at that word and I was like, I need to go back to school because I can't read
It's
that.
a hard word to say.
Definitely.
I may not even be saying it right.
But yeah, it's such a great album. How did you come up with the interesting album cover? This is unique. I like it.
We had a little, oh shit, our album cover's due tomorrow. And we had a little freak out. So we all went to Steve's house, our drummer, and we made that with just collaged that and all the other images that are in it with just cutting out little encyclopedias, and we had a label maker and we used a canvas and took pictures and sent it in. Dude, it was like, oh, you need a we literally didn't know that we were supposed to nail down the guy doing the album artwork, and so it never got done. So we just did it on the fly one night.
It's pretty good for on the fly. That's awesome.
Hey man.
I think of John Bon Jovi when they were doing Slippery When Wet. Last minute he got what you probably heard about, wet trash bag, and he just wrote. Yeah, he was so mad. He's like, "This is the album cover," you know.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I don't mean to compare.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The first album cover was a Half Naked Girl.
I like John,
but this
Bon
is better.
Jovi.
You like John? I like the first name. The first name basis is good. I like John.
I will say I'm into John.
I'm into John.
Mr. Jovi. I like Mr. Jovi.
Mr. Jovi's.
I will say that. What was that? Did he play the inauguration or something like that on They were on a pier and they captured the sunset. So they're playing as the sun sets. And it was very awkward. It's pandemic style shooting of things. So it's everything's just a little weird. It's got this COVID stamp on it.
Okay.
And just watching Bon Jovi doing he's doing this kind of Mick Jagger thing, and I was
I miss the old stuff, man.
Yeah.
I heard his new single and it was weird.
I mean,
I'd love to have him on the show. I would interview John.
Yeah. Mr.
Jovi.
Mr. Jovi. Welcome, Mr. Jovi. Come right this way. Right this way.
John.
Mr. Bond. Mr. John Bond.
Heavy Fruit, man. Great record too. I was listening to earlier.
That's our emo record. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Were you listening to a lot of different things at the time?
That was Sam Huff played drums on that. We had a different drummer, and we just a different, a different element in the band and brings a different vibe,
Yeah.
I think a lot of times that happens. But yeah, we were just in a different kind of headspace at that point in time. It was the first album really back from a hiatus, so we were kind of
testing the waters. When you guys get back together, do you discuss what this is going to be?
Never.
It would sound like just you got some songs.
There's never really a pointed there's obvious times of bands have two modes or three modes maybe. They have we're not doing anything mode. We have touring mode and we have writing mode. And I think when you shift into those places, you're we're obviously in writing mode right now. We're writing a record, but I don't think there's ever okay, this record's got to sound like this.
Yeah.
Or we got to bring back this sound. It organically comes out of us because we've been doing it for so long, and our process it's never really wavered. So
that sounds more freeing than anything. It's not being pressured.
But it was this album was pressure because we had something to prove, coming back from not having made any music, and It Hates You was such a I don't remember 3 maybe. I had gotten some of my first film jobs after that, and we were still good friends. Adam was still writing all the time, and we were all keeping in touch, but it was just not the time for us to play. And Steve, we played a show or two in that time. There was never a breakup, but Steve was going to school out of town, so there was just no time. So.
Yeah.
But it bred this new version of us that gave us this new work ethic, new life of the band. It was just like a kind of blue period for us, and you can hear it in the tunes. I think they're a little more melancholy, a little more like maybe held back. There's a lot of kind of blues element to it. I like the record.
I like it too. And I was about to say, I was thinking about your other ones. You have White China like on every album.
Oh, China White. Yeah,
China White. Yeah. White China White. Yeah.
That's fine.
What's that dyslexia? I just say things backwards. It doesn't matter.
I do it all the time. I'm forever switching the L's and the R's. And, China White just was it was a song about it's like a fictional kind of idea of these characters that we would bring back, or I would put back in lyrics that drove this narrative. And then as it went on, this Heavy Fruit is in that universe, kind of written from that perspective. And then, so there are songs on every album that are in that universe with those characters.
That's cool.
I've just always enjoyed that kind of storytelling thing, and I thought it'd be cool to do episodically. It's pretty neat.
Dude, this album, I love it, man. This is like the first song. Sam was the first song I heard from you, man. On this, and it's so good.
That song got us some cool things. I think a lot of people kind of got turned on to us from that. Yeah, I think we gained new fans from that. Well, we crowdfunded this album.
Oh, you did? How was that experience? Crowdfunding.
It was interesting. Because you had to wear all the hats, you are the record label, you're sending out the merch, you're designing everything, you're hiring everyone.
Were you doing that and writing or doing the crowdfunding all at the same time?
Yeah, it was all...
That seems so stressful.
Yeah, so we had to choose whether... we were all on the fence about it and didn't really know how to approach the situation. We had a lot of OG, hardcore kids are just like, oh, yeah, what do y'all need that money for? Yeah, look at how much money they need. But we were literally just matching the budget from the prior album. We just went back through the books and said, well, this is how much we needed. The label said we needed or what maybe the budget was exactly. Here was the stipend, here was this, here's where, how we stayed. And we took the numbers and tried to match it exactly. And that was what, we asked for a certain amount. Yeah. And we chose the month-long plan or whatever. It was kind of in the heyday of that, crowdsourcing. But yeah, we just decided to go for it, and it was really kind of to prove to ourselves that we could form this unit with our fans to maintain the band's longevity, I guess, and keep us in this process, because it was in another changing of music, where music was because there is, I think now over the last 5 to 7, 8 years, there's been this aggressive rock and roll resurgence. And I think that was definitely that Few was kind of at the crux of that, and we came back with more power, and I think that was right when that record came out. Was right when Jesse joined. Oh yeah. And we
that first song, Air Raid 2, man. That's such a song, dude.
Yeah, it's this
album's great.
Thank you, man.
And one thing I love is you guys filmed Sand. That was on the beach, right?
Yeah.
And I always find this is that. Because we'll talk about Mikey again from Islander. He did a video on the beach, and he was like, that was the hardest thing ever, man. Just because it's sand and doesn't work well. And
so we live on the beach. Carolina Beach was where we shot that, and we basically just got our friends. I had a guy build those cabs that are in the video, and we strapped them all on a truck and drove them out to the north end, and we had a shit ton of fireworks we were going to set off. So we drag everything out on the beach and set everything up, and this cop rolls by, and he's like, I see what y'all are doing here. I know y'all don't have a permit, but if I see one single firework, I'm coming back over here, and you're going to have to tear all this stuff down. I was like, all right, we won't shoot off the fireworks. So yeah, we shot the video. It ended up being really cool, and then we went to the bar that I work at and just shot off all the fireworks in the backyard. So
okay.
It still ended up being cool. We didn't get any footage of it, but it it turned out a lot better than we expected because it was an overcast day, so it just had this really dreary look. But we didn't find that it was that hard. I mean, they were fake cabs, and we just took all our gear out and set it up, and got it done in an hour or two.
There's something about that I've always liked. Like Ugly Kid Joe did Everything About You on the beach. And there's something, I don't know why, man, but there's something about when bands do videos on the beach. I like it. I'm like,
it's because it's a big ass set that you don't have to pay for.
Oh yeah, it's true.
It's like wide open spaces. It's like that scene where Slash walks in front of that train.
Yes, dude.
The beach is. I'm a Pisces. I was born by the ocean. I will always be drawn to it.
Do you surf at all?
I used to try. I mean, I have stood up on boards in the water before.
You boogie board. I mean,
I have stood. I have been standing on a moving surfboard before.
Oh yeah.
Not for very long, but I've done it.
It's not cool to say you boogie board. Like everybody's like,
it is too. Now you got to call it cobra snaking. Yeah, you get on a boogie board and you ride behind the surfers and you're real low so they don't know where you are, and you grab their leash and yank their board out from under them.
Cobra snaking.
A surfer will slit your throat for doing
that.
I
bet, man. It'll be like Point Break.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know.
I saw a live version of Point Break in LA. It was a musical.
No
Point Break,
way. That's
the
musical. One of my favorite
movies. My friend Thomas was in it, and he was like, "I'm in this weird, crazy Point Break musical. You gotta come." And
Dude,
we went.
That's epic.
And they like choose a guy from the audience to like play a part. It's amazing.
It's
Brody.
Oh, really?
Gonna die, Brody. Yeah. But yeah, there was like everybody gets wet. They hand out ponchos and like they pour water on you. Yeah. It was amazing. I wonder if it's still running.
Dude, I would love that.
My buddy Thomas.
So what's next? Are you gonna do any streaming? Everybody's streaming now.
We had some plans, and that was back around November, or when they said they were telling people not to gather. So we were like, yeah, we're gonna hold off and push for a little bit. We have a really cool idea, and we still may do it, but we just recently started talking about booking time at a studio, so we're gonna start recording a new album soon. We're in the early stages of writing and getting things kind of fleshed out. But yeah, it's been. I mean, we haven't stopped. I mean, we came home when everybody got pulled off the road for the pandemic, and I mean, we never really stopped jamming. I mean, the boys have been in their rooms, and it's like, oh, well, it's probably time to make another record.
Where do you guys practice at? Do you have like a studio kind of thing?
Yeah, there's a place across the street from my house, and it's just a room we share with another band, and it's got a bunch of gear in there, but it's really close to home. We used to practice at this joint that was like a rehearsal space, but it's not conducive to writing when there's like a punk band playing at the same time like a mariachi band is playing, and then like one dude is just like practicing blast beats, and you're like, I can't anymore. So we moved to a place where we won't have to struggle for sound. And and kind of just trying to get like going on the writing process. You whittle down a lot of ideas, and but it's amazing to be able to say that I still make music with my best friends, and
it's amazing. 20 years.
Yeah, man.
Well, you got 5 more years. You could be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man. See, it's coming.
You don't gotta tell me. Counting them down.
You'd show up, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm happy to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Thank you guys. It's nice. Speaking that one into existence.
There you go. Just putting it in the atmosphere. I'm just throwing it out there. It's gonna be there.
Man.
Dude, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, Scott.
Amazing.
A good time.
You live not that far away.
You haven't interrupted me with a burp yet, and that's been the running joke the whole time.
I'm gonna edit that in now. I feel too much pressure. I'm getting shyness.
No, it's
like
fine.
Pee shy, but it's like burp being shy.
I get pee shy.
Do you?
Yeah, I got clam up. If it's full, if everybody's there,
but if it's full,
every urinal's attended, and there's I walk up, I'm waiting for that whole line to get out of there before I start.
I've been there too.
Just standing there like holding my guy. I'm just been like
holding your guy.
You guys got to get out of here.
Dude, but if you're at a festival,
I can't even pee around my girlfriend.
Really?
I get performance anxiety. I'm bad. I'm bad at it.
We should talk about that. So how does that make you feel when? No, I'm just kidding. But
I'm happy to talk about it. It's kind of embarrassing. You would think I'd be able to pee around my girlfriend.
Yeah, that's weird. Like pee around her? Like you don't close the door?
I pee in a big circle around her. The way you do on the toilet seat when you're a little kid. I didn't do that.
Dude, I know. Yeah.
I never did that.
It's like that movie Stand By Me. Ladies, leave the seat down. I can't remember now. This is a great ending to us to your interview, brother. Dude, thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thanks
good luck on
me.
the Pee Shy. It's good.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, man, this is awesome. Really fun. We gotta have you back.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Dude, I love your band. I can't wait to hear the new music. So.
Hey, man, you will.
You drop that surprise album out one day.
Yeah, we'll put a link right there.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
You have to come back and edit the link in like a year and a half when the record's done, but that's fine. That's fine.
So we're not actually gonna put this out until a year and a half from now.
Yeah,
so.
we'll see you guys later.
Fast forward to that. All right, thank you, brother.
Hey, man.
So much,
Thank you. Want to hug?
I'm just gonna hug everybody.
Let's hug.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm a little sweaty too, so you got a little.
Me too.